My name's Philip Luck. I'm cellist in Northampton Symphony Orchestra.
So my name's Callie and I play French horn.
My name is Jane Henderson and I play oboe and also cor anglais.
John Gibbons. I'm music director of two orchestras that use Jamulus, Ealing Symphony Orchestra and Northampton Symphony Orchestra.
Northampton Symphony Orchestra is a full-size orchestra, about 80 players.
We'd all meet up, cram into a tiny hall, we'd be squashed in like this, trying to get our instruments.
We play large orchestral works. We play 5 concerts a year and we rehearse weekly.
And typically at any one rehearsal we'd probably get well upwards of 60.
We'd have a nice little break in the middle, eating loads of food, and then afterwards we'd all go off to the pub.
It's a wonderful community of community musicians.
I think it was grim for everybody, wasn't it?
So we just had to close. In fact, before lockdown, lots of people started filtering out because we have a bit of an older demographic or a large range of ages. People that are worried about their health just weren't coming, so we'd already dropped our numbers down to nearly nothing.
Rehearsals had to stop. We had a concert scheduled at the end of March that had to be cancelled.
I have an organisation that I used to conduct, I'm not involved with anymore, but because of my partner I know all what's going on, and they have done nothing since March. And the feeling of despair amongst many of the people in there makes you realise that you've got to try things, you've got to go for it, because actually the benefits completely outweigh any slight feelings that it's not the most perfect thing you've ever done.
We tried lots of things before Jamulus, so we started Zoom straight away, but we didn't really have much to talk about except how depressing everything was.
There was a certain amount of communication going on and the odd team quiz or whatever, but there was nothing effectively.
The lockdown was in March and we started Jamulus, I think it was August, and we've been going since then.
Well, the first session was just a little trial run, but it's hideous to start with because there's no way of testing whether what you sound like, except having someone else on the other end. So we did a trial run before we opened it up to everybody, and if you've got the settings wrong, which inevitably you do, it's like your ears have exploded with sound.
When you first hear it, it sounds awful.
I think for organisers I would say don't build up people's expectations too high.
I would say it's close to the emotional release you get from playing in person, but it's not the same.
I was perhaps a little bit put off by it being positioned as maybe quite difficult to get to use.
It's a fantastic opportunity for us musicians just to get together, stand in front of our laptops and just play together.
I think having the opportunity to do it is so important, even if it's not going to be the most perfect thing. It's not going to make you sound like the Berlin Philharmonic, but you're making music together and that absolutely is everything.
I think the convincing argument was missing rehearsing so much, and having been teased by one rehearsal, and I just thought I need to give this a go.
To start with, it's weird because I stand in my living room playing just my part, so there are other people in the house who leave me to it.
Interestingly, very quickly it settled down. First session was usually quite chaotic, panicky, and then the second session really settles down, and then you start playing through Beethoven's Eroica first movement, and everyone gets to the end of it and goes, wow, I haven't played through anything for months, that was extraordinary.
Like the first time we'd played together in months and months and months, and we could just play, and actually talking was really nice because there's none of that delay that you get on Skype or Zoom or anything. It was just felt like someone was in the room with me. It was a bit strange.
I think with Northampton, there were people in tears on the Zoom afterwards. They were so emotionally overcome because the thing about it is, if you're playing on your own, you don't have to keep going. You hit a bad pitch, you just stop and maybe pour yourself a glass. When you're in a session, you have to keep going.
I also tried using a microphone built into the laptop, but you get like the fan sound. So when your laptop gets a bit hot, you get this wee noise, which can be annoying.
Really the key thing I probably didn't have was a suitable microphone.
I found that the inbuilt microphone wasn't very good, And so I bought a microphone.
And I didn't spend a huge amount because I didn't know if it was going to be successful or not.
Because I play a very loud instrument, the microphone I was getting was being very oversaturated, which means you get loads of sort of noise, which isn't very pleasant. So one solution was to turn the volume of the microphone down, or just have the microphone a really long way away.
It went really well, actually. I had spent about an hour in advance running through the instructions and everything that was required to get the session working, and actually I joined first rehearsal and had no problems at all technically.
The teething problems is obviously just getting everybody connected online, making sure everybody's using an Ethernet cable.
To start with, I didn't know what an Ethernet cable was.
It then came down to ticking all the prerequisites that you needed to be able to do Jamulus, many of which I had.
I think you just have to get to know your laptop, really. It's trial and error.
There's a really great feature on Jamulus where you can just mute people. So if you're in a large group, say for an orchestra we have about 15 to 20 people. So if there's somebody that's logged in and they've got annoying fan noise, or they've got some noise on the microphone that's going woo, you can literally just mute them so you can't hear them at all. And they don't know that you've muted them.
And what our conductor said was he plays the piano all along, and you need to ensure that you have him turned up louder than anybody else, so you can hear him. So you follow the beat.
I'm generating the rhythm and playing the piano parts using piano reductions, either two pianos or one piano, and rhythmically punching out where the beat is, so that people can really know what to latch onto.
It's a very different skill to follow the piano playing rather than conductor, because you have to really listen to everybody, which normally I don't really bother with. I'm quite lazy.
I actually quite enjoy playing by myself, with the other people being there, so you've got them coming through your ears.
So I find it quite immersive once you get going. You sort of forget that you're just in your bedroom, and I feel, well, it's a bit weird because I feel like there's 20 people in my bedroom.
And what's been the most refreshing thing for me is actually it's broken barriers down, and I've got friendships developed, really strong friendships across the orchestra. And people saying, I didn't even know you were in the orchestra because I play horn and you're playing viola, and I've never seen you because the nature of the hallway we rehearse makes it very difficult to get across and socialise.
And it's fantastic. And one thing that's highlighted since lockdown is how much we miss playing, and music, and also highlights just how important music is to us in our lives.
But what it has done, and I can say for sure, I think probably without it I wouldn't be getting my French horn out. It would be rusting up in its case, because the motivation to practice just wouldn't be there.
I think the key thing for me was I had perceived there to be a technical barrier, and there are some technical prerequisites. You know, you do need to have a broadband internet and an Ethernet connection and things like that, and you need the microphone, and you need some headphones or whatever, but in reality I've really enjoyed it, and I thoroughly recommend it to anybody.
I think if you're thinking about it, I would say stop thinking and just have a go.